and they don't really know each other.
Let me throw something out there, because we're talking about red flags and some other things. One of the things I was recently having a conversation about is emotional healing. And I'm gonna say this for men, for us as men, bro. Sometimes we have a lot more issues than what women have.
Yes.
And we don't get help for those issues.
Yeah.
I had a conversation recently, and what I was explaining to the young lady is, and I told her a funny story, so I'll share the story with you. So in the 5th grade,
Right. I
was in class, me and my boy Mike, and it was this young lady, her first day in class, and it was Robin.
You're not talking about the handicap.
No, not talking about handicap. No, that's it.
Yeah, that's another story.
We're not going to talk about that. No, we're not going to talk about that one.
Okay.
Anyway.
Gonna get a lot of hate emails.
Yeah, I know. Hey, that was, anyway, that was a long time ago. So in the 5th grade, this girl, Robin, comes to school, and me and my friend Mike, losing our mind. She was cute, little yellow girl, pretty eyes. She had the Lee jeans on, it was the 80s, whatever. And so I remember her coming to class, and we did the normal thing you do in 5th grade. You pass a note, you like me, yes or no.
Right. Check.
Yeah, check. Yeah. And so she checked yes to both of ours. And so, long story short, she said, you know what, y'all give me till over the weekend. I'm gonna come in on Monday.
Wow.
And I'm gonna choose who I want. Monday morning comes, I couldn't sleep all weekend long.
Right.
Monday morning comes, walk into class. I couldn't wait till she walked in. She walked in, Mike's girl on the back of her shirt.
Wow.
I was like, no! Dude.
Shot you off a
Yes,
cloud
oh my God. Listen.
5th grade?
5th grade.
Ooh.
I'm 42 years old, and I'm still dealing with that.
Wow. Rejection.
Rejection, yes.
Rejection.
Listen, real talk. I'm 42 years old, and I'm still dealing with the rejection from 5th grade. That's and so now, what we do is we take a situation like that, and over a period of time, now we adopt or adapt other skills to protect our heart.
Correct.
So when we never give the woman who we really were because of fear.
Right.
How do we as men begin to address some of these issues? Because we need emotional healing.
Right.
And so we carry those little situations into every relationship, from girl to girl to woman to woman.
Well, let me start if you don't mind. I think what happens is that with women.
Y'all know I get loud. I'm sorry. When I'm with my brothers, y'all know I get loud.
It's all up. I didn't get my bacon and eggs yet, but
y'all know, right?
Anyway, but I think what happens with many women, that women have a support system, so they have this system built from when they were young. They can come in, they can explain what happened without any embarrassment or possibly even any judgment. I think what happens with a lot of men, we learn from the rites of passage when we grew up in the hoods, and this ego, this monster, this ego becomes to feed off of this fear. And now I don't think I can come to you and tell you, listen, man, she said no, she didn't want me, or all the disappointments that I have, so I have no choice. Well, I do always have a choice,
right? Definitely.
But in our communities, we're not taught. To explain or to talk about it. I mean, even when we talk about the child molestation thing, keep what's in your house in your house. We're taught little things like that.
True.
So we have all these little sayings that we become conditioned with.
Yes.
And so now when it comes time to explain to my brothers what happened to me, no, I'm not going to get judged. So what I do, I take that baggage along with maybe being molested, along with maybe being other disappointments in my life, and I carry them. And I don't go see like people like my brother here, Steve and Tina, that counselors. You know what I mean? So I carry that because within myself, I am taught through rites of passage and maybe through my ancestors, as far as my fathers and my uncles, that I can handle this. Okay. So I go on with that. You understand what I'm saying?
Just being misinformed by the misinformed. You're absolutely correct. It's a sign of weakness.
Yes.
Growing up, to show hurt, to show pain as a man. Don't cry. From the minute you get that first whooping, you better not cry, or I'm gonna whip you some more.
So we keep that in.
Suppress as men. Women are emotional creatures, and like Will said, they have their support system. The first thing that happens, they get hurt, they're getting on the phone. Girlfriend, he hurt me, blah blah blah. So they get it out. But as men, we're taught to stuff that. We're taught not to cry, not to show any emotion, and definitely don't show any hurt.
Right.
So we carry that, and it starts out as maybe this little sandwich bag, and then it grows into, you know, the shopping bag, and then it grows into the backpack, and then it grows into, you know, the whole luggage, whole luggage set. Right. You know, and it affects us the further we go, and the more we develop our relationship paradigm around this. Like you said, nobody's gonna get that close to hurt me ever again. So subconsciously, we do little things to sabotage any little thing, that triggers that thought that wow, I may be in this zone again. Can't get that close. So I do something to sabotage it. But then I go, look, see, I told you.
How do we begin to rectify these things? Like, as a man, again, we don't always go and get help. I will call for help. You know what I'm saying? In some way, shape, or forms within reason. I read a lot. I study a lot. You know, so I push myself a lot. But the average man, where do you start? Like, listen, you got a ton of women, you got thousands of women out there saying, how do I get this man to at least begin to ask for help?
I think by creating our own systems. I think, like, right now, we're in church. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, wow.
We're you know, we're in church. This is a system that is developing right now, and I think that once you become reassured and very sure of yourself and where you're going and where you want to be, more like where you want to be, I think you need to, like minds need to link up, because nothing, only positivity is going to come from that. So I think that the solution is, a lot of brothers, is I personally believe you have two options. You can go seek help through people like my brother Steve and his wife Tina, or you can get with men that have like minds that you can express without being judged. And if you're going to be judged, it's going to be conducive to your well-being. You understand what I'm saying? I think that's one of the solutions. And until we do that, we're going to be walking with those luggage and that bag and that backpack and all of that luggage, because we're going to think, like we were taught, we're going to think that we can handle this. We will have the answers for our own solutions. And I want to say this before you guys cut me off. I want to say, I was one of those guys that it got too crazy for me. I was sabotaged, and it's so funny because my sister was like, "You know what you're doing, right?" And I'm like, "Shut up!" And I knew what I was doing, and I was trying to justify it. You know what I mean? And it was just because she's getting too close. I can't open myself, because then she may also shun me or reject me, and I'm not willing to have that again.
Exactly. I think, in answer to your question, how do we begin to get to the healing process? I think there's a responsibility for anybody who has made it to the other side to reach back.
Do that again.
Good point. Wow. Good point. Good point. Good point.
And I think you said it
right.
And
damn, that was a good point.
Subconsciously, you do it. You know, with your works.
Right.
I know for a fact I was also that person who got hurt. I grew up very insecure. I wasn't the cool cat who got all the girls, right? I was the cat who stayed in the corner and really thought. It took me, if I would see a girl that I would want to dance with, it took me like 15 minutes to try to plot and plan, and then he would change the record and mess up my flow. So now I gotta wait till the next hot record comes on, and now he done changed the whole set, right? And then some other cat just walks up, grabs her hand, and takes her on the floor, and
then you end up a mic on the back of your damn shirt.
And check it out. This was before you could pull out your smartphone and act like you're busy on your phone. So you got nothing to do but stand there. So now you would walk from side to side at a party, find one of your boys, and next thing you know, as a party go on, all your boys on the dance floor. So now you just left there.
And what happens when you walk home? I should have said this.
All your boys talking about the numbers, because when you're young, it's a big deal to get a number. You know what I'm saying? And you ain't got no number, now you gotta lie. So I was one of those people, right? And it wasn't until I did some serious work on me. And let me tell you, man, I just didn't one day wake up and say, you know what, I think I got some baggage. I need to do some work, right? The pain was the motivator, right? I was in an 8-year relationship. 2 unhealthy spirits can't place any blame because I was equally at fault. And when we separated, right, the pain, being in a fetal position, either I was going to continue on this road of self-destruction, or I needed to get some help. And thank God I chose that route. But once I got enlightened, and by no means am I cured, there's still a lot of work, right? But I'm a lot better than where I was, right? And the minute I jumped to that other side, I was like, you know what? I need to go back. And I need to pull somebody else out.
Good point, yo.
Because in doing that, I'm still helping me.
Good point.
I'm still helping me.
So, and I think that's what's lost in our relationships and growing up anyway. I think I'm going to say older generations, for lack of better words, they don't reach back to teach.
Correct.
So I love what you just said. The people who have a little bit of knowledge, information, and revelation, it is our responsibility to now go back and help those brothers out.
Correct.
And I want to add to that too. One of the things you said, reaching back. A lot of times it's best for us to go back in our own core, where those things start. And be honest. I tell people all the time. I know there's certain procedures you go. When you certain tactics or skills, you tell your clients what they need to do. And one of the things that come to be very helpful for myself was me reaching back and saying to myself in my own little room. I had my little pad. I'll never forget this. I said, well, now retract everything that you can remember that may have been problems in your lifehood, that why now you and these females are very short-lived. You know what I mean? And it comes a time where you have to say, you know what, she may have issues, but I know I have issues too. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And once you reach back and you to your core and you say, okay, my dad was an alcoholic, my mom would never explain or express love to me, then you start to add up the pieces to your puzzle. Then you realize where you may be, why you are in the situation you are in. You know what I mean? So reaching back is great.
Like the story with Robin. I did a blog also called "No More Pancakes," and I was about 8 years. I don't know why my childhood seems like it keeps coming back up, like somebody knocked me over my head or something. But I remember this one Saturday, I made my mom and my stepfather pancakes and bacon and grits, and it was a whole. And I carried it upstairs and I put it, on his lap. What I remember is my stepfather, for the first time, I want to say, showing me, he appreciated me.
Wow.
For whatever happened in that moment, I felt it.
Yeah.
Right.
But on the opposite side of it, I kept doing works to get more appreciation.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I wrote the blog called "No More Pancakes" because at some point in our life, like you said, we got to go back and find out what caused us to get to this point.
Right.
And I cannot build a relationship off of works if the person doesn't accept me, good, bad, or ugly, for who Robert is.
Right.
No more pancakes.
I respect that, but you are doing the work.
Doing the work.
For yourself.
For yourself. Correct.
Right.
Correct.
Okay.
I think in that moment, I don't want to do a bunch of stuff to get Steve to like me more.
Yeah.
And we do that a lot.
Yes.
Especially as we start to climb the fame ladder, and so Robert goes from being Robert to the massage mogul, and then he's here and here, and so at some point, it's funny because I met this young lady and we've been talking, and she don't give a damn who the massage mogul is.
That's a good thing.
I can't get over, I can't get around it, I can't get under it. I be mad because I be trying to flex my weight sometimes. She be like, "You just Robert."
You just Robert.
But
that's what you need.
That's true.
But as men,
grounding.
Right.
But as men, we like to flex that weight sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think that's innate in us, man. That's part of our DNA. You know?
Like when we have a new car, nigga, I'm going through the hood.
Yeah.
I'm going real
5
slow.
miles per hour.
with the bass way up.
Yeah. But we're playing the same jam, right? The hot jam.
And all these little things, like you said, going back and looking at myself, I'm saying, okay, Rob, start working on these things. Because if you don't, like you said, you wind up sabotaging the next friendship, relationship, or other.
Yes, you do.
Because we don't do these things. But I love what your brothers are saying. Self-reflection, and then we have a responsibility to go back and now begin to teach and train other men in different generations. I love that. I love it.
And
I love that.
And what works for us, like you said, Will, we have a lot of textbook
theories.
Not so much theories, but exercises that we use.
Right.
But nothing touches a heart, right? Like true life experience. Right?
Very true.
What the connection that my wife and I make with the couples that we coach is our experiences. We're not up here because somebody in the midst, right, may not be able to think they can reach the other side if you're just giving them information.
Yes, I agree.
Right.
Right? It's just information that ain't gonna work for me. They need to hear that you went through it too.
Yes.
And this is what you did to get out of it.
Yes.
So being totally transparent.
Yes.
And it was a challenge in the beginning with my wife because, you know, she just likes to keep certain things private. And on the radio show, you know, I tell it. Right?
Me too. That's me.
I
too.
tell it.
That's me.
I listen to it. Yeah. And she be like in the background, why you telling my business? And I'm like, listen, they need to know we real.
Yes.
They need to know we fight.
Yes.
They need to know we go through things, but we get through things.
Yes. Right.
And this is how we get through things. You know, it's funny because at the Women's Empowerment, you know, I like to come to you and make you think that I just got it all together and all I got to do is push a button and I got all my content, right? But it takes a lot of mental energy to format that stuff. And I had pages and pages of what I was going to do. And I have kind of like a mentor that I go to whenever I'm about to do a speaking engagement and I go over what my format is to get his insight. And, you know, I went through all this stuff that I was going to do and some of it was really good and some of it was for, like, you know, the effect and all that, and he was like, you know, that's good, but you know, you need to tell your story.
Yes, just be who you are.
Absolutely.
They need to know who you are.
I agree with that.
You know, you talking about healing. They need to know. They need to know that you are not the person you are today.
Steve, that day, he made everybody want to get married.
That's what's up.
Yeah, we made everyone want to get married.
That's what's up.
Boy, I was getting text messages, phone calls. Oh my God.
And they, you know what they told me too? Steve made him want to get married, but you were the pastor.
Yeah.
That's what he said. Wow.
But one of the things you sparked that I think that we as men need is a great idea. A mentor. I mean, we're all speakers.
Yes.
We're all mentors in our own right. I'm a mentor. Brothers are making a difference. I decided to dive in that because I wanted to give back. That's what you were saying.
Nice.
But the truth of the matter is, I think men, period. We all, no matter if you're white, black, Hispanic, Asian, you need a mentor, somebody you can come to. Say, is this right? That's wrong. And someone is not afraid to say, listen, Rob, I understand what happened over here. She has her own, but you screwed up as a man.
Exactly.
There's a criteria that you need to follow. I know one of the problems with a lot of us men is that I tell women, if we was never raised by good men, how do we know to be good men?
Correct. 100%.
You understand what I'm saying? So a mentor is so profound in our lives, and that you to have one is great.
It's important.
We're gonna go get some eggs in a minute, but I wanna at the age of 42, I can honestly tell you, because my real father passed away when I was young, and my stepfather he was there to raise me, and he had his own issues, but he was a great man. But to this day, I'm still looking, no matter what kind of successes or what I achieve, I'm still want that hand on my shoulder, like, son, I'm proud of you.
You will always want that.
Yeah, like, son, like, just like, I'm really grateful. I have accomplished a lot of great things in my lifetime. I want somebody to share it with, number one. Right. But then the other one, I just want to, like, son, I'm proud of you.
It's funny you mentioned that. Oprah just had a show on about fatherless children growing up, and I think Dr. Perry was on.
Dr. Perry, yeah.
And Jeffrey Holder. Not Jeffrey Holder. What's the brother's name? Harlem Children's Zone. I forget his name.
I don't know.
We'll cut that out because that's not good. But in any event, they were talking about these kids, and they were talking about kids who never picked out a Father's Day card, and a chill went through my body, and I literally almost started crying. Right?
Wow.
I'll be 48 years old. I'm still looking for a father, and I have never. In my life, bought a Father's Day card.
Wow. You know
I have never in my life heard. I have never heard, son, I'm proud of you, and son, I love you. And it's funny because I have a lot of older men in my life and I gravitate towards them. And when I get around them, I feel like a kid.
Yeah.
I feel like a kid. Like I want to impress them. I want to come home with the A on my report card. You know, for them to say I'm proud of you. You know, so it plays a big part. It goes back to what you were saying. If you were never raised in a certain way, and this is no slight to the great women who stepped in, you know, but there needs to be a positive male role model.
Absolutely.
And even if you didn't have that, you still have a responsibility if you were blessed enough to enlighten yourself to reach back.
Yes.
And you don't gotta like
interesting.
Just get one person. Just get one person. Just get one person. Cool. Be totally transparent. And it makes a difference because I also mentor, right?
Good.
The Blue Nile Rites of Passage. It's through Abyssinian Baptist Church, and you'd be surprised the gifts that these young people today have that they will never really allow to blossom or manifest simply because they're a product of their situation or their circumstance. And a lot of it's not even their fault.
Right.
You know, so we got to take that, we got to recognize the good in them and water that, right? So that it can blossom and then it just keeps on giving. It is the gift that keeps on giving, you know? But going back to the original question, as men growing up, you know, emotionally, we're taught to stuff our emotions.
Yeah, we are.
We're taught we don't express ourselves, you know, so we hold all that in, and then it's got to come out. You know, you start stuffing things into it, and it has a 10-gallon capacity, and you got 20 gallons worth of stuff. Something's got to give. You know, so we taught not to cry. So we cry bullets. You know, or we cry, you know, alcohol or drugs. You know, we have to deal with those emotions some type of way, and unfortunately, a large percentage of the time, it's dealing with it in a negative way. Yeah, you know, and it has that effect, that snowball effect. So now we not all right, so we don't treat our women all right. So now there's this subtle civil war between our men and our women because of all this hurt and pain that just keeps going back and forth with one another.
Right.
Interesting. Okay.
That's what's up, man.
Good combos, brothers.
Yeah.
Let's go grab something.
My man.
I want some eggs. Can I get some? I want some pancakes. Who's cooking?
Ain't nothing like my mama biscuits.